500 years ago, a Florentine diplomat named Niccolò Machiavelli, pronounced Niccolò Machiavelli, sat in a small stone room on the hills of San Casciano, pronounced San Casciano, and wrote the most dangerous handbook ever placed in a ruler's hand. He was broke. He was exiled. His name had been dragged through Florentine mud. He had just been tortured by the same city he served for 14 years, stripped, tied by the wrists, and dropped from a ceiling 6 times, and when the rope did not break him, the new rulers let him go, penniless, humiliated, and without title. And yet, in that silent room, surrounded by goats and olive trees, he wrote down something that most men never accept in an entire lifetime. He wrote that poverty is not an accident. Poverty is a structure, a set of quiet, invisible cages that people walk into willingly and then spend the rest of their lives decorating from the inside. He did not blame fate. He did not blame the rich. He did not blame the system. He wrote down, instead, the exact mechanisms by which ordinary intelligent men kept themselves poor while believing they were being wise, loyal, kind, or careful. 5 centuries later, those same mechanisms still operate, unchanged, in every city, every office, every family, every mind. Tonight, you are going to learn the 7 cages Machiavelli watched intelligent men walk into, century after century. You probably live inside at least 3 of them right now. You will recognize them immediately. And the moment you can name them, you can begin, slowly, to walk back out. Do not expect comfort in this video. If you want comfort, close this window. If you want clarity, sit down, breathe, and listen carefully. Because by the time we finish, the face of someone in your life will quietly appear in your mind. A friend, a colleague, a relative, someone who has been holding you inside one of these cages for years, smiling the whole time. And you will finally understand why you could never quite reach the money, the freedom, the life you know you were built for. The first trap, the sunk effort trap. Machiavelli watched generals lose entire armies because they refused to retreat from positions they had paid for in blood. Not because staying was smart, because leaving felt like losing. This is the first cage. You stay poor because you keep paying for things you already lost. You stay in a job you outgrew 3 years ago because you already spent 5 years climbing into it. You keep a business that drains you every month because you already invested your savings. You keep a relationship that hollows you out because you already gave it a decade. Machiavelli would tell you flatly, the past is paid, it is finished, it owes you nothing. The only currency that still works is the next hour. The rich do not mourn sunk effort, they audit it. They ask one question: if I had never started this, would I start it today? If the answer is no, they walk out the same afternoon. They do not hold funerals for dead bets. They bury them fast and move. The poor, by contrast, build shrines out of their mistakes and then wonder why no new wealth can enter the room. There is no space left. Every corner is occupied by something they already lost. Machiavelli watched this pattern destroy the Duke of Milan, pronounced Milan. He watched it destroy the Republic of Venice. He watched it destroy whole Italian dynasties who could not let go of a territory, a dowry, a treaty, a marriage, long after the situation had turned against them. He wrote that the wise prince does not only prepare for fortune, he prepares to abandon his own past decisions the moment they stop serving him. You will not become rich by finishing every project you start. You will become rich by being fast, even brutal, about cutting the ones that were never going to pay you back. The second trap, the approval cage. Machiavelli observed that the most dangerous thing a prince could do was seek the affection of his subjects before securing his position. Love, he said, is held by a thin bond of obligation which, because men are wretched, is broken the moment it suits them. Fear is held by the dread of punishment, and that never fails. He did not mean you must become cruel. He meant something far sharper. He meant that most men will never act, never take the risk, never pull the trigger on their own wealth because they are secretly waiting for permission. You are waiting for your father to be proud of you. You are waiting for your spouse to say yes. Start the business. You are waiting for your friends to stop laughing at the idea. You are waiting for the society around you to issue a certificate that says, you are allowed to become rich now. That certificate is never going to arrive. The people whose approval you need cannot give it to you because deep down, your rise will make them feel small. And small people do not hand out permissions to rise. They hand out warnings disguised as concern. Wait longer. Be realistic. Is it really worth it? Are you sure you are not being selfish? Each warning is a soft hand on your shoulder, pressing you back down into the chair. Machiavelli would say, the only approval you ever needed was the one you could have granted yourself at 17. The third trap, the safe choice. Trap. This is the deadliest cage of all, because it feels like wisdom. The safe choice. The stable salary. The steady, predictable paycheck. The quiet life. Machiavelli wrote that fortune is a woman, and to be commanded, she must be struck and beaten. He meant that wealth answers only to audacity, not to caution. The man who plays defense his whole life does not keep his money safe. He simply loses it slowly instead of quickly. Inflation eats his savings. Taxes shave his paycheck. His employer replaces him the year he becomes expensive. His pension fund discovers a new definition of solvency the decade he retires. The safe choice was never safe. It was the elegant, socially approved, dignified method of dying broke. And the poor cannot see this because the wound is invisible. There is no dramatic loss. There is only the slow bleed of 1,000 small compromises, 50 cents an hour less than he is worth. 4 years stuck under a manager who resents him. 20 years in a mortgage that was never really his. The river carries him softly, gently, into an ocean of quiet regret. The rich understand that all safety is paid for with freedom, and all freedom is paid for with risk. There is no third door. There is no secret path where you get both. Every time you choose the safe option, you are mailing a small piece of your freedom to someone else and asking them, politely, to take care of it for you. They will not give it back. Machiavelli wrote that fortune shows her power where virtue has not been prepared to resist her. She is, he said, like one of those raging rivers that, when it is in flood, and drowns the plains and tears down trees and buildings. But the wise man does not wait for the flood. He builds embankments in the dry season. He studies the terrain. He takes risks while the sun is out, so that when the storm arrives, he is ready, not crushed. The poor wait until the river rises. Then they pray. Then they panic. Then they drown quietly with everyone else who thought safety would protect them. The fourth trap, the moral comfort trap. You stay poor because you confuse goodness with softness. You believe that because you are kind, honest, and well-meaning, the universe owes you a clean return on investment. Machiavelli wrote something that still scandalizes people today. A man who wants to act virtuously in every way necessarily comes to grief among so many who are not virtuous. He did not say, be evil. He said, if you insist on being the only saint in a room full of negotiators, you will be the one who leaves without the contract, without the territory, and eventually, without the dinner. Being honest does not mean being naive, pronounced na-e-e-v. Being kind does not mean being available. Being generous does not mean being without teeth. The rich have made peace with the fact that the world is not a church. It is a marketplace, and in a marketplace, your virtues have to carry a price tag, or they will be taken for free. Every time, you want to know the quiet fact that ruined your bank account. It is this: the people you admire for being rich are not less moral than you. They simply refuse to outsource their judgment to anyone's guilt, including their own. They read contracts carefully. They negotiate when you would have apologized. They walk away from deals that would have broken you emotionally into accepting. Their morality is a weapon with a sheath. Yours is a flag that anyone can use to wipe the floor. The fifth trap, the visibility trap. Machiavelli wrote that men are so simple and obey necessities so much that the deceiver will always find someone who will let himself be deceived. He observed that the most dangerous thing a rising prince could do was announce his ambition before he had the power to defend it. This is the fifth cage, and almost every young man walks straight into it. You tell your circle your plan. You post your goals. You announce your new business, your new side project, your new investment to everyone who will listen. And you do not understand why nothing moves. You do not understand why the doors close quietly, why the opportunities pass you, why the people you trusted suddenly seem distant. It is because you made yourself visible before you became dangerous. Ambition is a scent. Weak predators pick it up immediately. Unsee. They begin to circle before you have claws. The boss who smiles at you in the meeting has already filed away the fact that you want his chair. The friend who nods at your plan has already calculated the risk of you becoming richer than him. The family that asked, "So what are you working on these days?" is not gathering news. It is gathering threat intelligence. The moment your ambition is public and your position is not yet secure, you are in the most dangerous window of your entire career. Machiavelli would tell you one sentence: move in silence. Let the result do the announcing. He studied Cesare Borgia, pronounced Cesare Borgia, carefully, and what he admired most was not Cesare's cruelty. It was his timing. Cesare did not tell anyone he was about to conquer the Romagna, pronounced Romagna. He gathered, planned, positioned, and then moved when the gates were already half open. By the time his enemies understood what was happening, there was nothing left to defend. Silence was his siege weapon. The same silence is yours, if you can find the discipline to hold it. The sixth trap, the loyalty trap. This one hurts, because almost every poor man is poor precisely because he is too loyal. Loyal to a company that fired 20 of his friends last quarter. Loyal to a city that has no room for him. Loyal to a family that mocks every attempt he makes to change. Loyal to friendships that froze in high school and never updated. Loyal to a version of himself that stopped being true at 22. Machiavelli understood loyalty. He also understood that loyalty is only as valuable as the thing you are loyal to. A soldier loyal to a dying cause is still going to die. A man loyal to a sinking ship is still going to drown. He wrote that the prince must be willing to change according to the winds of fortune, not because changing is noble, but because refusing to change is suicide dressed up as principle. Ask yourself a colder question tonight. What am I loyal to, and is that thing still loyal to me? Because the quiet betrayal of most poor men's lives is this: they gave their best hours to people, companies, and beliefs that would not have crossed the street to attend their funeral. And they called that loyalty. Machiavelli would call it something else. He would call it a slow and decorated form of self-harm. Real loyalty is a contract. It runs both ways. The moment it stops running both ways, it becomes a leash, and the man who refuses to see that leash spends the rest of his life walking in circles, insisting that the circle is a sacred path. Look at the companies you work for. Do they keep your letters on their desk? Do they remember your anniversary? Do they fight for your wage when the budget tightens? Look at the friends who drain your time. Do they return the favors they take? Or do they simply show up when they need something and vanish when you do? Your loyalty is the most valuable asset you own. Machiavelli would tell you to stop giving it away for free to people and institutions that have never paid a single coin to deserve it. The seventh trap, the hope trap, the last cage, and the most quietly fatal. You are waiting. You do not know it yet, but you are. You are waiting for the economy to turn. You are waiting for the right moment. You are waiting for a mentor to find you. You are waiting for your boss to finally see your worth. You are waiting for the market to stabilize. You are waiting for your spouse to support you. You are waiting for the government to fix something, for the weather to change, for the planets to align, for someone, somewhere, to send a signal that says, "Go now. It is time." That signal is not coming. It has never been coming. The signal is a mirage designed by your own fear to keep you comfortable in the chair a little longer. Machiavelli wrote with devastating calm that men are the kind of creatures who can tolerate any amount of suffering, as long as there is the sweet lie of a future rescue. Take the rescue away, and they finally act. Keep the rescue alive, and they will wait for a decade in a life that is already killing them. The rich do not wait. They do not pray for the timing to be right. They cut through hesitation because they have accepted deeply that no one is coming to save them, and that is not a tragedy. That is the first breath of freedom. The moment you stop waiting, you can actually begin. The moment you accept that the rescue will never come, you stop being a hostage of your own hope. And you become the strategist Machiavelli wrote about, the one who seizes fortune by the hair before she turns her back again. 7 cages. Sunk effort, approval, safety, moral comfort, visibility, loyalty, hope. Walk around your life for the next 24 hours and watch. You will see them everywhere. In the colleague who will not leave the job that crushes him. In the friend who is still waiting for the permission slip. In the relative who smiles as she slowly closes every door you try to open. In the version of you that whispered earlier today, maybe next month, maybe next year, maybe when the time is right. There is no right time. There is only today, this week, the next 3 decisions you make. Machiavelli did not die rich. He died mostly forgotten by the city he loved. Yea, but the handbook he wrote in that small stone room is still read, 5 centuries later, by every ruler, every operator, every strategist who wants to understand how power and poverty actually work. And the single pattern that runs through every page is this. The world does not punish the immoral. It punishes the unprepared. The world does not reward effort. It rewards clarity. You have been given a mirror tonight. Whether you pick it up and look into it, or put it down and keep scrolling, is the first cage you will either walk out of or decorate one more time. Before you leave, there is one more thing Machiavelli warned about, and it is the one that ruins even the men who escape the first 7 traps. There is an 8th cage, older than the others, that pulls you back in at the exact moment you begin to rise. Most people never recognize it. The few who do, keep their wealth. The many who do not, lose everything they built and walk back into poverty convinced it was bad luck. In the next video, you will learn what that 8th cage is, and why Machiavelli said it is the one that destroys even great princes. Subscribe, so the lesson finds you the day it releases. Tonight, sit with the 7 names you just learned. Write them down on a single piece of paper, by hand, not on a phone, because something happens in the wrist when a warning becomes ink. Put that paper somewhere you will see it tomorrow morning before anyone else in your house is awake. Read it before you check a single notification. Read it before you answer a single message. The cage that keeps you poor is the one you cannot name. Tonight, you have 7 names: sunk effort, approval, and safety, moral comfort, visibility, loyalty, hope. These are your 7 locks. You have been handed the keys. What you do in the next 72 hours decides whether you actually use them or whether you slide the keys back under the door and return to the cage you have been decorating your whole life. Machiavelli wrote for princes, but he was really writing for anyone brave enough to stop being ruled by fear. Tonight, that person is you. Use the names. Keep watching. The 8th cage is the one almost no one survives, and in the next video, you are going to learn exactly how to see it coming.